Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the delicious and flavorful lunch. Yeah. Today we have here with us Saurabh, who is going to talk about automated vulnerability patching at scale in Debian. So over to you, Saurabh.
Yes. Is audio good? All right. We will present it here. All right. We can start. Yeah. So my name is Saurabh, and I'm a developer with a focus on systems engineering. I used to organize meetups, conferences, and absolutely love to share what I learn with everybody else, and also, love to meet people. I'm generally a sweet person. Yeah. So disclaimers. Hold on. Yeah, so there was a few rumors about the talk that about what the talk is, so I was just going to clear that up. I'm having a hard time getting the mouse up. Where is it? Can you see the mouse? Okay. Yeah, okay, got it. Okay, so this is not a talk on live kernel patching, although it might seem that it is, but it's a precursor for that, how you can achieve that. So it's one way how you can achieve eventual live kernel patching. Yeah, the talk is aimed at sysadmins, but it's not limited. Anybody can do it, even on your personal computer. If you try to do it, you can reach out to me if you get stuck. You can stop me at the conference and say hi, and I was having this issue, can you help me with this? So I'll be able to help with that. It is a beginner-friendly talk. I'll try to keep it as simple as possible. This is how it will be. We'll keep it neat and clean, and questions at the end as usual. Yes, and there will be ice cream. So yeah, softwares have bugs, and they can have security issues and security exploits. Therefore, we need to keep systems up to date to reduce possible attack surface. Yeah. Yeah, so how do we keep systems up to date? We can do app update, app upgrade, reboot your system, and it works. Great, amazing. But the problem that we have, what if we are managing tens and thousands of servers, which are critical production, which are running critical production workloads? How do we update our systems so that to not break our, critical systems and our applications and their services? We can do app mark, hold, unhold, and app pinning to hold the packages from getting updated, whichever you want to prevent, and rest of the packages can get updated. But you need to manage that programmatically. So what if there's a way that you can do that with a 15-year-old or plus software? That software is non-intrusive upgrade, which manages your automatic installation of security upgrades and other upgrades. Yeah, so how does it work? Yes, so it gets once you install it, it gets triggered as a systemd timer, which are app daily and app daily upgrade, which runs every day. Or you can set it's a systemd timer, so you can set when you want to run it. You have more control. It basically triggers that, and it looks at the origin patterns, which is a configuration which tells you from which location do you want the packages to be updated, which repositories. It could be stable, security, backports, updates, and all that, whatever you do in the sources list. Then you have more control on which packages you don't want to get want to have it update. So you can use regex-based pattern to have that, and then you can also whitelist. So what whitelist means is that you can only allow a certain package to be updated. So it sort of contradicts your blacklist, but it works together. So whenever you try to whitelist a package, it will have a dependent services, dependencies that will also get installed with that. So what the whitelist, whatever packages whitelist is defined in the whitelist config, it will honor the one in the blacklist package list. So if a package is defined in blacklist, it won't be installed at all, even if it's defined in your whitelist package. And once you do that, you get your package updated, Adibali. So how do we do that? What I just talked about. We enable it by using this config. This is the first one is your apt update, and the other one is the apt upgrade, essentially. You can also use Debian DB, DB input, and DB get to see the values and do it more programmatically. And then this is the origin file that I talked about. You can decide, from where the software updates, the security updates, and other updates can come from. So usually we have the Debian one and the security one, and this one is to, get the bullseye working. Yeah, and this is how you can blacklist the package. So for example, you can see the package Linux. So whatever packages that start with the name Linux hyphen, those will get blacklisted if you want control over libc6, those packages, libstd, and you can use more powerful regex, just shown here as an example. And the whitelisting is also similar, but it honors the blacklist as I mentioned. So if you have a package bash and it has some certain dependencies, it will not get updated if it's in the blacklist list. Well, you have more options. For example, even if the even if the DPKG is an unclean state, the packages will still get updated, will still get installed. You can also do an upgrade when shutting down. You can configure it however you want. There are some defaults. You can also control that. You can send email to admins about changes happening on your system. Well, there are certain problems with that. Package update doesn't necessarily mean the system is patched. You have library updates as well. So even if the library is updated, there will be some servers that are still using the old library that is still in the memory. So we need to reboot those services, systemd services we need to reboot, or there are other services which you need to reboot, that is such as dbus and I know systemd, login and those kind of services. But a lot more are there. You might have your own services that also might be using certain library services that needs reboot. This is separate. This is different from your system reboot. I'm talking about application reboot. You do systemd restart some application. So those are still using the old library, files. So that is not technically patched because it's still vulnerable. So the only sane way that first we talk about will be system reboot. We just reboot our system and it's done. It works great, but we cannot do it. What about our maintenance cycle? You have to wait for the maintenance cycle to come, and then only you can reboot your system. Otherwise, you will have downtime for a long time, and that takes a lot of time. So CVEs take security exploits take time to be patched, for which we have need restart. This was, I think, in Debian goodies, and then it was modified. So it basically checks which daemon needs to be restarted after library upgrades. You can do lsoff and then grep for deleted files. You can figure out that these are the files that change but are still used by other processes or the services using lsoff. Yeah. So It can be configured to automatically restart services, which are applications, your daemons, and containers and user sessions. I don't know how containers and user session work. I'll figure it out and let you know. We have configuration file to define how you want it to be restarted, or you can use it, in your program. You can use it like this: need restart -r, and then you can just list out, or you can do it interactively if you are managing 1 or 2 systems, or you can do it automatically. Yes, now services might require system reboot. So some services you cannot just do systemd restarts. So I think dbus is a classic example that we have seen so far. You have to reboot your system. Just an example. There will be more services. Most of the packages that we have a post-install script that touches this particular file, /run/reboot required, to let the users know that this system requires a reboot. And kernel packages will obviously require reboots, unless we are doing kernel live patching, which we're not talking about. Yeah, so need restart lets you define how you want the system's services to be restarted. What that means is there's one way, which is systemd restart, but you can override how you want your service to be restarted. For example, you want a certain service to be executed before you want your service B to get started, so something like that. So you can do that. So in this directory, you define the restart procedure using your shell script, bash, essentially bash. Yeah. So how do we go about looking at the changes that has happened in your system? We can use app list changes that lets you get the changes of the packages from the Debian changelog and the news file, as well as you can look at dpkg log to see where all the what all the packages got updated and what all packages get triggered because of one package update. And you have the programs, the unattended upgrades log, which tells you which all packages it has found for upgrade and which it has blacklisted and whitelisted. Yeah, and you can also use any your systemd timer script or any bash shell as a cron to pass those information and send to your alerting and monitoring dashboard. Yeah, so future work and homework for you guys will be kernel patching and how do we do rollback upon failures in case there are. Most of the case, it's mostly security patches and small updates, which doesn't really, it's mostly patches. It's not major and minor. Those things are there. So it's mostly patches work. So there isn't really breaking anything. That's it for the talk. Nani is thank you in Malayalam. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much. Yeah, questions?
So I have a question. Like if you see a patching using yum, okay? So you can roll back the patch in yum. You can perform transaction undo.
Yep.
But how we will do in apt-get? What is the scope to roll back the complete transaction state?
So there isn't really, I mean, I haven't figured out if there is any transaction noting thing, but how you can do it, I mean, not with this, but you can store the state of the system beforehand. You can use snapshots and things like that to get back to the previous state. Yeah, Yum has that, I know, I was at Red Hat.
But it is hard when your server is a physical bare metal.
Yes.
And it is not sign booted, it has internal disk.
Yes.
So in that case, you cannot have snapshot.
No.
That's something we need to work upon.
Yeah, we will talk. Yeah. Good question. Yeah, thanks. Any more
other questions? No? Right.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you, guys. That was wonderful session, Sourab. We have round of applause.